guys. This is another episode of Vault Business Podcast, giving you great insight into business and having fun along the way. I am your host, Jose Sahagun, and today I have a very special guest. In light of celebrating Women's History Month, we have a special guest that's near and dear to my heart and near and dear to our office. For some of you guys that don't know, we actually have an office in Chowchilla, and we actually work together in that office together. So it's been a blessing to be around her. Our special guest today is Diana Palmer. She is a wonderful mother, owns her own business, and she was the city of Chowchilla mayor for some years. So Diana, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So Diana, I know that as we've grown in business and I've learned, a lot about you, I've always had the question as how do you make all of this work? I mean, you're a devoted wife, a mother, a business owner, and you took on, the community aspect of working for the community as being a mayor. How do you make all of this work? How does this work for you?
Well, that's a very good question. It's actually, that term, it takes a village, right? So I think at different points in my career and my life and motherhood, being a wife, whatever it is, there have been people that have helped me along the way, right? So you can't do anything all on your own, right? It takes somebody to love and support you and help you. My husband has been really supportive when I'm out late at night or gone on Saturdays doing Beautify Chowchilla or stuff for the city council. My kids have pitched in and helped. I've always had my kids come and be a part of all of the volunteer work we do. Sometimes they would come to the office and help me file paperwork. It's really good to get them involved in your life so that they know who you are as a person and not just a mom, a parent, right? Being on the city council took up a lot of time, but I think, as we've kind of talked before, it's been interesting to understand how if you can make a plan and you can schedule things, you can fit a lot more in. So it's really about being purposeful about what you do.
That's a great word. So purposeful, being organized in your life and having a plan. So I'm kind of envisioning this when you guys, when your boys were small, that you guys had a very routine life where you guys went to bed at the same time, woke up at the same time. Breakfast is, hey, at this time, and we got to get out the door. How was that like for you to manage your business and everyday life? Because, we were just talking about off camera that you spend that hour in the morning, getting the house ready, doing laundry, getting all that stuff done. What was it like when the boys were small and you were actually running your business?
So it was very similar. And like you said, it was very structured. My boys knew exactly what time dinner time was, exactly what time, everything happened. Saturdays was cleaning day. We get up, we clean, we do our stuff, and then we can go out and have fun. Dinner was always at 6:00, right? So having that routine just helped, I think, everyone. And of course, when you have sports and things like that, it does change a little bit. But having the routine, having the schedule, having family participation was really important, I think, not only for trying to accomplish everything, but also creating that security for the kids, right? So they knew what to expect on a daily basis. So they felt very secure. They knew exactly what was going to happen, other than life events, right? But they knew their routine. And so that really helped them. They didn't have to worry about anything at home, right?
Now, were you the one that set the schedule at your house and made sure that everything was flowing right? Or, did your husband help you? How did that work out? Like, was this your structure or was this like a family, structure that you guys started out with? How did that work?
So I think it was a little bit of both. I'm the events coordinator, right? So I kind of make sure that everything is in place and ready to go and whatever. But my husband was also a Marine. And so he also thrives on structure and likes everything a certain way, as do I, so it works out well. But I think it was a little bit of the both of us. And so whether it was, we've always done, my husband coached and had his job, and then I volunteered and had my job, and then it's just, we've always been a very active family. And I think the fact that it wasn't just me volunteering or just him volunteering, that we both did that, we could understand that, oh, you're going to be gone all day on Saturday. Like, there wasn't that conflict, right? So we were very supportive of each other, and that makes a really big difference.
And the kids, I would imagine that everybody like follows in the steps of leadership, right? So like you have everybody structured doing community work on Saturdays, and they just kind of follow in the footsteps of their parents because this is what they learned, right? Did both of your boys, did they follow in those footsteps?
Yeah. So it's kind of funny. My boys will tell me now of, little things that they do here and there for other people in the community. And it can be as simple as, oh, I saw someone at McDonald's and I just, bought their meal for behind me or whatever, So it's great to see them recognize a need and then fill it, right? So I think that's kind of what we tried to instill in them, whether it's professional, right? So in my business world, I would see a particular area that maybe was not being serviced well, right? And so I would jump in and make sure to fill that particular need, right? Because even in insurance, even though there's a lot of insurance agents out there, some of them don't take the time to explain or to really care about maybe this person's prescription coverage, or there's kind of a lot of the person behind the policy, right? So it's important to me to care for that person. They're not just a policy, right?
Absolutely.
So
the power of reciprocity, right? So you give somebody something, and of course you actually get more in return by giving something to them. So this is something that I've always valued in my life. I truly give myself to somebody, and in return, actually, I get more for it. Even the things that we're doing here at our business, we truly do it because we want to help somebody. And at the end of the day, I've been actually blessed through this. So I totally understand where you're coming from there. Now, I know that you work in insurance, but I want to go a step backwards. I want to actually go back to when you started, because we've talked a little bit of how you got into insurance, but at the same time, I don't think that I know exactly how you fell into this business. So tell us a little bit about that.
So it's a little bit of a kind of a crazy story. So my grandfather was in the insurance business for 30 years. And he had always asked me to come work for him. And I kept telling him, no. And finally I was like, okay. Let's give it a shot. So I went to work for him, and things were going well. He wanted me to take over so that he could retire. And then he was killed in a car accident. And so I had lived with my grandfather growing up. And so all of a sudden I lost basically like my dad, my job. It just kind of, my whole world fell apart, right? So I'm like, okay, so what do I do with this? Well, I picked it up and I made it my own. And I have been doing this for almost 15 years, right?
Wow. What a powerful story. That's awesome. I of course, we've been together for quite some time at our office, and I don't think I ever knew that about you. I don't think that I ever, we ever talked about that. And what was the name before you actually, took it over as, Palmer, Insurance? What was the name on it?
His was Hamill Financial.
Hamill Financial. Okay. Wow, that's amazing. Like, I don't think I ever heard of your grandfather. And was that based out of Chowchilla as well, or?
No, he was in Fresno.
He was in Fresno. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I've never heard of it. But and then you were working in Fresno. How did you end up back in Chowchilla? How did you end up in Chowchilla?
Well, it was a little bit of a transition just because of how the internet really transformed business, right? So it used to be that you always met with people in your office in person, right? Now, all the applications are digital. Most people just want to do things by email or online or by phone or things like that. So I was not really meeting that many people in the office in Fresno anymore. And I was just thought, I'm wasting my time that 2 hours a day, right? I could be with my family, right? So I was like, okay, let's move to Chowchilla. And I was concerned at the time about, would that change my business at all? Would it affect it negatively, right? But it was actually a very positive move. I had more time to spend with my family at my work, and I felt like not having that struggle to commute every day. All of that, I think, was a very positive move.
That's wonderful. That's so wonderful here. And you know what? Time is so important. I mean, if you're spending it, driving back and forth, just like you're saying, it's like you can spend that time with your family, cooking dinner, making sure everything is done at home. So as a businesswoman, we know that, March, we're celebrating, Women's History Month. It's something so, so important to, of course, give back to the community. And you actually were a mayor. How long were you mayor of Chowchilla? How did you get into that? What was that like?
So I was on council for a total of 4 years, but I served as mayor for 1.
Okay.
And that was probably one of the, it was a great experience. I learned a lot. It was so much more than I had thought when I went in. You have to learn and grow so much you have to know about wastewater and, drinking water and roads and streets and how everything works. And you have to go into it just really willing to absorb and learn. I probably read 500 pages a week of, whether it was the agenda packet or different policies or different structures that the city had, just trying to catch up, right? So it's really important if you're going to be involved in government that you understand it's a lot more than just sitting up on the dais and, giving your opinion, right? There's a lot of work that goes into it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I know that we were certainly, proud of you when you, became city council and became mayor. I mean, I kind of seen this transition, being in the office with you, seeing your trajectory in the city council, and we were certainly proud. And I'm going to tell a personal story here. So, of course, we get out of work, we go pick up our kids from school, we do different things in town, and I'm driving back home. I think my wife was with me that day, and it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and you were still at the office, like, working. So now that gives me perspective that you were actually probably working on an agenda for, the city council or something, or reading up on wastewater. So I don't believe that, people understand how much work it goes into it. It's not just the title. It's not the fact that you're a city councilman, or it's not the fact that you're a mayor. It's the fact that you're doing this for somebody else, for a city to grow in, some certain way. So it's really, really selfless how you give yourself back to the community. And it's something that for a young business entrepreneur or somebody working in, political office or whatever it be, it's huge. Like, having a woman mayor shows this little kid that it can be done. It can be done anyway. So that this is so wonderful for people. So, and leading to that, what's the advice that you can give to a young entrepreneur, a young woman, a young man wanting to be a business or wanting to be a mayor? You are setting the trend for other people. What is it that you can tell them?
So for young people, I think it's really about perseverance, right? It wasn't always easy. It wasn't always fun, but if you can really put your mind to something and say, I have a goal, I want to accomplish this, and I'm going to do it even if it hurts, right? Because it does. Life is not easy. And I think that sometimes people feel like, oh, well, if it's meant to be, it'll just happen. That's a lie. Like, it won't just happen. You have to work at it. You have to make it happen. If this is what you want, you go after it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am going to give you a compliment. That my wife and I were sitting at our office this morning, and we were thinking about, how this podcast was going to work. We're just kind of going over it together. And we want to give you a lot of credit. I mean, it is hard to do what you've done and are doing as a women business owner, mom, wife, city mayor. It is not easy, and we see you doing it, and honestly, we get inspired by it. So we thank you so much for what you do. And then also, I want to thank, the viewers, like the viewers that are viewing this right now. I want to thank you guys to know that, hey, you know what? Here is a woman that is a powerful woman that's doing stuff in business, doing stuff in, political office, and it can be done. It's not something that just, people in the media can do. I mean, you can start as little as being in your small city and your county to do something, big. So we have to dream big. And I'm going to ask for a favor from Diana. I mean, I know that, you coming on the show was actually something that you did for me, and I so appreciate it. Any viewers that, follow Diana, please, follow Vault Entertainment. We love all the feedback, messages. Let us know if you guys have any questions and what you guys want for the show. Honestly, what your guys are giving back to us, we're going to make and produce for you guys. So, Diana, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you coming on, and we look up to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're wonderful.